Hi, I'm Gary Fowler with Brad Crane and Rigging. I'm the sales and project manager. Been here for about 13 years with the company. The customer for this project was Oxy, Occidental Petroleum Corporation. The Brad company's installed two vessels total. One was the dual polarity treater. Its dimensions were 12 foot by 65 foot and weighed about 150,000 pounds. The second was a free water knockout. The dimensions were 14 foot by 65 foot, 190,000 pounds. The Brad companies use a 300-ton conventional crane to transload the vessels from over-the-road carriers to our 6-line Goldhofer and our SPMT. The 300-ton conventional crane then moved down the street into position to make the lift. The SPMT and 6-line Goldhofer then moved approximately 1,000 foot down the road to the crane. The 300-ton conventional crane was cribbed high enough so the tail swing would clear the fence. This fence separates our job site from the railroad. At this point, the crane hooked onto one end of the vessel. The crane hoisted one end of the vessel, which allowed the 6-line Goldhofer to be removed. At this point, the 300-ton conventional crane, with help with the SPMT, swung the vessel over a 9-foot tall live pipe rack into position 1. At position 1, the vessel was put onto pipe stands. From there, the 300-ton conventional crane cut loose from the front picking eye and swung back to the rear picking eye, which allowed enough room for the 400-ton gantry to come up and hook onto the front picking eye. From there, in tandem, the crane and the 400-ton gantry lifted the vessel and walked it into position 2. From position 2, the 400-ton gantry moved to the rear picking eye, and the 200-ton gantry moved to the front of the vessel. Now, we weren't able to get to the front picking eye due to obstructions on the ground, so we basketed the front of the vessel. Now, both gantries in tandem moved the vessel into its final position and set it onto its anchor bolts. The steps were repeated for the installation of the second vessel. The only difference was we had 50% less space to complete the project. The unique challenges of this project included the overall space requirements of the job were much tighter than desired. The road was less than 30 foot wide. This created several challenges for the crane setup and for the turn of the vessel, seeing that we were not able to cross into the railroad property. The vessel during its turn had to be in excess of 9 foot tall to clear a 9 foot tall live oil pipe rack. This obviously created much concern from the parties involved within the project. Pipe stands were used as safeties to protect the live oil pipe rack. During the lift, the Brad companies had complete control of the vessel until it was placed on its anchor bolts. Both lifts had all of these unique constraints. However, the second vessel that was installed had 50% less working area due to the previously installed vessels. This project was completed as a lump sum contract according to schedule with 0 incidents and 0 injuries. This was another challenging project completed successfully by the Brad Company.